and actually they're going down right now. So I guess a train's going to come through here and make its way down the train tracks here. It's actually going from south to north, the Metro train from the downtown train station. So they're allowing the train to go through, but just to the west of where the train will be going through is that little area that was really on fire. And hopefully on the Image 360 information line at 505-926-1410, you were able to see a little bit of that video that I sent you from the fire when it was at full blaze.
Dean, how long are they going to be monitoring the embers?
With this wind, I mean, they'll be out there for several hours.
Is that the rest of the night?
Well,
they'll be out there making sure that
sure.
the tree or anything else that was there for it. What are they looking for to make sure that this doesn't reflash?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think what they're going to be more concerned with, because you do have the nightfall, and you don't know, you have a lot of blankets, you have a lot of, what can I call it? People that are just trying to cover themselves, a lot of the homeless that are out there. I think they're going to be more concerned about looking and making sure there's no casualties out there. I think that's going to be their first response. I would assume that's their first response. I'm sure it is.
Well, from what Mark said, there's 75 to 100 people that could be in that area.
Absolutely.
That's
and
over there.
You wouldn't even, a lot of them bundle themselves up, as you see sometimes on the side of the streets with blankets and bags and what have you. Again, the smell that Ben was talking about, all those plastic bags, tarpaulins that they use to keep themselves dry, makeshift tents, if not legitimate tents. So when those things start burning, you'll get that smell. But, they're going to definitely be doing some overhaul to make sure that, everything is out. The cold weather doesn't stop the fire.
No.
A lot of people think the fire would go out. They're still going to have to, saturate the hot spots so it doesn't rekindle. Good job out there, by the way, Mark, getting those photos. You got some good footage here.
Yeah, and it was so windy. I was going to do a call-in while I was watching, but, I mean, there would have been no way for you to hear me because it was so windy as I was standing close to the river. Thanks. They had I was able to make it over the train tracks, but it looks like that train that I was just mentioning that was coming from south to north, heading towards the Tent City area, was stopped. And I see that another fire truck in my rearview mirror now, as I was kind of able to move over the 31, and I'm kind of heading away from the scene now. But there was a fire truck that was coming up Kimball, and I don't know if they stopped that train to allow one more fire truck to get across the bridge there before the train did or not, but they temporarily at least stopped that Metro train that was heading south to north before it ever got to Kimball Street. So there's still a lot of things going on in that area.
Yeah, you can hear the train stopped right now, and it's blowing.
They're blowing the whistle right now. So, I mean, and they're not too far away from the station, so there must be a lot of activity on the tracks to let everybody know. And with the smoke, that's got to hinder their vision.
Well, and Mark, they have that ground unit base as well, the mobile base that they've got for it. Can you tell us a little bit about the tools that they have at their disposal to help fight this fire?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to actually get the command center out to fight, to be a part of this situation, depending on how long it's going to take. I imagine they're going to, once they get the fire under control, which it seems like they are, that it will still take several hours for them to make sure they, as they go through there, to try to make sure nobody's still in that area, make sure no bodies were left behind. I mean, I hate to make it sound gruesome because I really don't know. And hopefully everybody was able to escape that area before the fire caught a big blaze. But it was getting dark at that time, and it's so very windy, and a lot of trees and a lot of tents and a lot of stuff right in that area over there, that it might be kind of hard for firefighters to kind of comb through and make sure everything's clear before they leave the scene tonight.
What's the next step there, Dean? What's the next thing that they're going to do after they put this fire? What's the next step on it? The investigation happens is where the police come in?
Certainly. I mean, this may be what some of the residents want, because it's going to be all caution taped off. Police are going to have to investigate. You're going to have they may even call the state fire marshal out on it, and to see what took place. There is a lot of controversy. I don't want to, and I'm not even going to put the shade on her that maybe someone started it to do this. I think it was just accidental.
Tent City was ablaze here in Elgin. According to Marky B, they have started to get it controlled. Live here on WRMN, breaking news. Thanks, Marky B. Thanks, Dean. Thanks, Ben. More Apolitical Talk Show will continue after the bottom of the hour news.
Dropped below freezing overnight as crews worked to find 64-year-old Elizabeth Pollard. News Nation's Nick Smith reports.
Pollard's family says she hasn't been seen since Monday night after she left her house with her 5-year-old granddaughter to look for her missing cat. Search crews took a camera and lowered it about 30 feet into a nearby sinkhole and were able to capture an image of what looks like a shoe. Police say they found the 5-year-old safe in her car near that hole.
Rescuers speculate a manhole-sized opening is new because it was not seen by people in the area hours earlier. Authorities say the search will continue until she's found. President-elect Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, is promising an aggressive response to illegal border crossings. He tells News Nation's Chris Como that finding the criminals is the first priority, followed by unaccompanied children.
Children are the big reason I get emotional. I'm so serious about this issue. I'm tired of children dying in that border. I'm tired of children being sexually assaulted by some animals in these cartels. I'm also tired of 300,000 children that were released into this country by this administration that they lost track of.
Homan says he's open to meeting with New York Mayor Eric Adams about his city's illegal immigrant problem. New York reportedly has 60,000 people who are wanted for deportation. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green.
WRMN News, produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 800-699-9043.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. A wind advisory is in effect until midnight tonight. Tonight, scattered snow showers before 3 a.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 11. Gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 26. Currently, it is 32 degrees and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Old Spice Swagger Holiday Pack, perfect for a gift to treat yourself. 24/7 holiday freshness with daily use can smell your bestest. I'm gonna be smelling great all season. Old Spice scents just can't be beaten. Chock full of value, saving that green. Got the essentials needed to feel clean. Deodorant, hair, body wash, and spray. Celebrate your holiday the Old Spice way. Ho, 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 ho.
To a political talk show right here on 1410 WRMN, your local Elgin radio station.
AM 1410. Also find us at WRMN1410.com. Download the app anywhere that any store that you download apps at. Find all our podcasts there as well. Search out the River Media Network, like some of those podcasts we got out there. My name is Ben Demonium, Ben Boquist. You can find me all over Twitter and all that stuff, every social media platform. Most importantly, though, right here on WRMN 1410 AM. We've been covering live that Tent City is aflame right now. If you didn't know, Elgin area, there's kind of a homeless encampment along the riverfront there, and we have scenes, reports on the scene from Marky Bialek the last half hour. Hopefully you caught that. And yeah, we'll have updates on that as it develops over there. As we learn more, we will let you know. Nothing reported as far as casualties, what started it, or anything like that. So hopefully everybody's safe out there, got away from whatever happened. So we'll have more news. You heard it here first on Talk of the Town, WRMN 1410 first. Tell all your friends to keep it on in the background. We're streaming 12 hours every single day now. 4 to 6 is when you'll hear this program, a political talk show, where we break down politics from an apolitical lens for you guys. And that being said, it doesn't mean we won't break in with live news stories. Local stuff is always precedent on this station. So that being said, give us a call anytime as well, 847-931-1410. Give us the tips, the talk of the town. That includes you, what you're saying, what you're hearing out there. So that's the Elgin news. Tent City aflame. We will have updates as they come. Segueing here to an article from Forbes.com. Now, we were talking about surveillance and all the fun that comes with that, and the prevailing paranoia and all that just super... the air is thick with that kind of feeling right now, I'd say. But here's an article from Forbes saying that the FBI is warning iPhone and Android users to stop sending texts. And the comment section was pretty funny with this one. It's like, who are you kidding? Like, who doesn't know that regular non-encrypted text messages aren't exactly encrypted or, proof at all from not being surveilled by the FBI. So obviously kind of a moot point to, and if you're in the know, if you know, you know. But here, I'm just going to delve into this article to give you this perspective. Timing is everything. Just as Apple's adoption of RCS had seemed to signal a return to text messaging versus the unstoppable growth of WhatsApp and Signal. I just added that into the article. But back to it. Then along comes a surprising new hurdle to stop that in its tracks. While messaging Android to Android or iPhone to iPhone is secure, messaging from one to the other is not. Now even the FBI, CISA, the U.S. Cyber Defense Agency are warning Americans to use responsibly encrypted messaging and phone calls where they can. So phone calls, what's the way around it, I guess. The backdrop is the Chinese hacking of U.S. networks that is reportedly ongoing and likely larger in scale than previously understood. Fully encrypted comms is the best defense against this compromise. The Americans are being urged to use that wherever possible. The network cyber attacks attributed to Salt Typhoon, a group associated with China's Ministry of Public Security, has generated heightened concern as to the vulnerabilities within critical U.S. communication networks. The reality is different. Without fully end-to-end encrypted messaging and calls, there's always been a potential for content to be intercepted. That's the entire reason the likes of Apple, Google, and Meta advise its use, highlighting the fact that even they can't see content. An FBI senior official advised, quote, using a cell phone that automatically receives timely operating system updates, responsibly managed encryption, and phishing-resistant MFA or email, social media, and collaboration tool accounts would be the way to circumvent some of this. As reported by Politico, CISA's Jeff Green added to this, strongly urging Americans to, quote, use your encrypted communications where you have it. We definitely need to do that. Kind of look at what it means long-term, how we secure our networks. In terms of what is known about the Salt Typhoon attack thus far, while the FBI officials warned that widespread call and text metadata was stolen in the attack, expansive call and text content was not. But, quote, the actors compromised private communications of a limited number of individuals who were primarily involved in the government or political activities. This would have contained call and text contents. Green reportedly suggested, quote, that Americans should use encrypted apps for all their communications. That means stop sending texts. iPhone, Android, albeit iMessage and Google messages are fully encrypted while on those platforms. Green added that, quote, our suggestion, what we have told folks internally is not new here. Encryption is your friend, whether it's on text message or if you have the capacity to use encrypted voice communication. Even if the adversary is able to intercept the data, if it is encrypted, it will make it impossible. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those moot point arguments. Wouldn't you love security, the security of knowing that none of your messages or phone calls were being intercepted in one way or another? It's a hard not sell. It's hard not to agree with that. At the same point, though, as they were saying, these seem to be officials. So what were they uncovering on these people, these important government officials? Interestingly enough, that's not the center of the story. So just kind of throwing that out there. It's we all know the two-tier justice system, but the two-tier private encryption, you got to believe that's part of this as well. So either way, 847-931-1410. I'm fishing for calls here. Throw me a bone here. 847-931-1410. Just kidding. I'm never without decent interaction on this show. Thanks, everybody. We've got some cool comments from Tim Murray. Wow, that's wild. Talking about the tent city fire. And Jonathan Carpenter asks, how are you? If you're asking me, I'm doing all right, John. Thank you. How about yourself? Thank you for watching the stream. We got it back up now. We've had a bunch of news today. The big news is the CEO of United Health was seemingly assassinated in front of his building. That he was, or not in front of his building. It was in New York on his way to the conference with the shareholders. So December 4th, kind of a crazy day in history, if not only for that alone. But we'll talk about that coming up here. And I saw a kind of antithesis to that story, which would be maybe, I don't know, maybe this is the communist reality, where that was the capitalistic outcome for the that kind of archetype of person. Here's an article from CBSNews.com. Death sentence upheld for property tycoon in Vietnam unless she pays $9 billion before the execution. So that's crazy. Bizarro world. We hear, just going to throw this out. South Korea is under martial law. So that's been a story that's going on. I guess I'll take a break and find that story for you guys as well. But before we do that, highlighting this story from CBSNews.com, a Vietnamese court upheld the death penalty Tuesday for a property tycoon in the multi-billion-dollar fraud case, but said her life could still be spared if she paid back 3/4 of the assets she embezzled. So property developer Trong My Lan, 68, was convicted this year of swindling money from Saigon Commercial Bank, which prosecutors said she controlled, and sentenced to death for fraud totaling $27 billion. She appealed the verdict in a month-long trial, but on Tuesday, the court in Ho Chi Minh City determined that there was no basis to reduce her sentence. However, there's still a chance for Len to escape the death penalty. The court said Tuesday that if she returns 3/4 of the stolen assets, her sentence could be reduced to life imprisonment. That means she could still avoid execution if she returns $9 billion, or 3/4 of the $12 billion she embezzled. The BBC reports. So it's not her final appeal, and she can still petition the president for amnesty. So quite the interesting outcome there. Think of just how our justice system may kind of fall short in a lot of areas. At least we're not justifying something like this, which literally pay to get out of a death sentence. Plus, being sentenced to death for something financial, it seems a little crazy, but hey, world news. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more. Stay with us right here on WRMN 1410, a political talk show. I'm Ben. We'll be back after these important messages.
Italian Pizza Kitchen in Roselle has been serving quality and excellence. Italian Pizza Kitchen is family owned with experience in preparing authentic Italian cuisine with the freshest, highest quality ingredients since the 50s. Your food is always prepared fresh with the same traditions, recipes, and standards that they've perfected over the years. Italian Pizza Kitchen has a passion for great cuisine and customer service. Visit ItalianPizzaKitchen.com.
If you can't decide on dinner, have everything. Golden Corral at 154 South Gary Avenue in Bloomingdale has an endless buffet with over 150 items to choose from. There's an unmatched variety of food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, prepared fresh throughout the day. If you're craving something specific, call or check out their menu. Golden Corral rotates the buffet often. Golden Corral in Bloomingdale. They're the only one for everyone. Visit goldencorral.com.
From morning coffee to your evening commute, WRMN 1410 AM is here for you. The faithful friend that brings you local news, timely topics, and the friendliest voices in the Valley. Stay informed, entertained, and engaged with our full lineup of shows, streaming all day, every day at WRMN1410.com or on the WRMN app. Wherever you are, we're right there with you. So why switch stations? Stick with the one that has it all. WRMN 1410 AM, your daily companion, your constant conversation.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM.
Be sure to catch the first shift weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. for important information like fire tips from Elgin Fire Chief Rob Sagan.
The thing in the winter that we're more concerned with is carbon monoxide, because that we don't get in the summer. That carbon monoxide issues occur because of heating equipment. Anything that burns natural gas, if it is faulty, can generate high levels of carbon monoxide, which in time can be fatal. So I can't emphasize enough the importance of having carbon monoxide detectors in your home. Every single year you will see somewhere in the country, and usually we'll get one or two in the Chicagoland area, where you'll see multiple fatalities in one home. You can't smell carbon monoxide, you can't taste carbon monoxide, you have no idea it's happening. And so it's critically important that you have the right detectors in your home.
It's the first shift weekday mornings at 6 a.m. with me, Marky B, right here on WRMN.
Looking to stay informed on the political issues that truly matter? I'm Dennis Sonar Green, inviting you to join me every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. on WRMN for A Political Talk Show. WRMN, the talk of the town, is where you'll find clear, balanced analysis of the day's biggest news. We dig into the headlines, cutting through the noise to deliver the facts and insights you need to stay informed. Whether you're deeply into politics or just want to understand understand what's going on, this show offers the depth and perspectives that matter. Tune in every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on WRMN and be part of the conversation that's shaping our community. Let's navigate today's political landscape together on Apolitical Talk Show, only on WRMN, the talk of the town.
Talk show right here on 1410 WRMN, your local talk of the town news station, Elgin's own downtown AM radio news station. We've broken news earlier this hour. If you didn't weren't listening, Tent City, unfortunately, there was a large fire in a homeless encampment just over 31 and Kimball over there. So crazy development. We'll have more on that as we learn about it. Just, I would suggest staying a little bit away from that area for a while. Use Highland and otherwise get across that river. So right over there down by the Gale Borden, not looking great. You can see on the screen now that was when the fire was roaring. We had Marky B on the scene. He let us know that they had quelled the fire substantially by the time we got off the phone with him. Big day for this story in the news. It's from CNN.com. You've probably heard it just about everywhere, though. This is a story that caught a lot of people by surprise, and there's a lot to be taken, meme-versed about this. It's one of those Harambe-esque internet moments where it's really gone viral. And it is what it is. You know, simply enough, I'll just read this story from CNN. Police hunt for a gunman after the United Healthcare CEO killed in New York City. So United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was shot and killed in Manhattan on Wednesday morning in a brazen targeted attack as he walked towards the company's annual investor conference. New York police said the gunman remains on the loose. Quote, many people passed the suspect, but he appeared to wait for his intended target. NYP Commissioner Jessica Tisch said, quote, I want to be clear at this time, every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack. Thompson, who was visiting from Minnesota, was shot with a weapon that appeared to be outfitted with a silencer, according to a law enforcement official. What we know about the suspected gunman and how he fled. New York City police have released a description of the shooter and where he fled based on the video footage. Very interesting. If anybody's not seen this yet, there's full footage released. Obviously, we're talking probably leaked at this point, but if you have the internet, you could see it. And yeah, they think he went off into Central Park. By the looks of it, some white guy with a white backpack and a gray jacket. So, for what it's worth, obviously the narratives surrounding this story are how terrible healthcare coverage and the healthcare system is in America, and that's kind of in antithesis of someone who was in a position of power who embezzled money in Vietnam was put to death for doing that, but they were able to pay back to have life in prison. And then this is what's happening in America today. So interesting times, that is for certain. It's It's kind of like, yeah, we get it. The times are interesting. Can we have calm times? Do we have some boring times, boring politicians? I would love that. And also some free healthcare. But just throwing that out there. And just to piggyback and kind of hammer that point home, here is a story that I saw. And I'm pretty sure this seems like something that would be talked about and released in an example of the kind of vitriol and possible motive for this attack that we're talking about. Obviously, I'm not a law enforcement person. I'm not even criminally justice trained whatsoever. Just a dude. But that's where my mind goes, that this was an act of, self-righteousness, kind of. But here's this story. It was actually published on November 14th, so it wasn't in regard to this story today about the CEO. But here it is from asahq.org. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield won't pay for complete duration of anesthesia for patient surgical procedures. Now, again, this is an article from asahq.org. So go check them out to corroborate this source. In an unprecedented move, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield plans representing Connecticut, New York, and Missouri have unilaterally declared it will no longer pay for anesthesia care if the surgery or procedure goes beyond an arbitrary time limit. Regardless of how long the surgical procedure takes, the American Society of Anesthesiologists calls on Anthem to reverse this proposal immediately. So yeah, that's scary. Really, really ridiculous that would even be a thing. It's kind of one of those unfortunate situations where we find ourselves in as Americans, where we have to, what do they say in corporate America? You say CYA, cover your assets, and it's kind of to go and say we'll do this, just for the sake of security. Kind of like we were talking about encryption earlier. Do you need it? Do people need to not see that you need to pick up toilet paper on the way home? Whoever's texting about the menagerie in all of our lives. No, you don't necessarily, but sometimes you have it just to make a point. And it seems like we're at that point with healthcare where things are just being pushed under the rug, tried to be put under a limbo bar, if you will, passed right under our noses. They're going to take away the full anesthesia for people. It's insane. Like the first thing that comes to my mind is this even real? Check it out at asahq.org. Cite your sources. We'll do our best to make any corrections, if ever necessary, as is the common broadcasting practice everywhere, and especially here on WRMN 1410. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Apolitical Talk Show. We'll be back tomorrow, 4 to 6, with updates all day about what's going on in the talk of the town. Voice of the Valley, right here. Keep it here. Pull the knob off. Go to the website, bookmark it, like, subscribe, and call in. All right, thanks, guys. Have a great night. Talk with you tomorrow.